Hi everyone, I'm Nancy from ISC. So here today I'm going to present on the topic of connection. So first of all, a very quick question. If you will be an ocean organism, which one would you choose to be?
Wow. Dolphin. Normal jellyfish.
Wow, those are very interesting answers. Well, it might sound a bit strange to start with this question because we're in Chongqing, a famous city known for buildings, foggy mountains, and their hot pots. People around me hardly or even never thought about the ocean. Well, it's actually my personal experiences that made me ponder on this question. My answer to this question is I actually want to be coral reefs. Well, people may wonder, why don't you want to be something more mobile or majestic? Well, here's an analogy. Can you think the structure of your lung and the coral reefs? Right? They actually look a little bit the same. They all start from really simple structures like polyps and cells, but then build up to support the essential of human life and the marine ecosystems. They're all fragile and vulnerable to toxins, imbalance. However, they still support the most important thing. And this connection, and you can see that the lungs, that they support our breath, and the coral reefs, they support the marine ecosystems. This connection between our lungs and the coral reefs and me with the ocean is why the reason I'm standing here today. So, as many kids sitting here today, we all grow up in Chongqing and raised up here. Well, we're surrounded by buildings instead of seas. We're surrounded by rivers instead of coasts. However, these things made the ocean quite distant from us. Those oceans were distant from us, and it only appears in dreams. And influenced by my scientist parents, I actually dreamed of changing the world someday. However, I could not know what to do. I was interested in plants, I love animals, I watched documents about climate change. However, how could be a girl in a landlocked city be able to change the world one day? There I wandered, and I went to sea. I traveled to the ocean side and expected to see very beautiful, sparkling light on the ocean surface and very soft sand beneath my feet. Well, however, the truth is, those things were a little bit different from my expectations. Those things in my imagination were there, but they were something more. Oils slicking on the surface of the ocean, plastics swirled with those seaweeds, and there were water pipes on the ocean surface. When I stood there, I was shocked, and that I was overwhelmed. What have us humans done to these oceans that make this beautiful place look like a trash? There I wandered, and I stood there for a moment, and I felt a deep ache. Those water pipes feel like scars on the bodies, and the global warming felt like fever in a sick body, and the ocean acidification making the coral bleaching felt like someone hard to breathe. There I felt the connection. The ocean is sick, and I could feel it, because it is aching in my body, in my heart. And well, so this was unexpected. However, it made me explore more about the ocean ecosystems, about the marine lives, and about the coral reefs. And there I wondered, how can I be connected to those ecosystems? And therefore I learned it is us, it is our city, it is our rivers, the Yangtze River. It will finally be inputted into the ocean. And what we buy, what we eat, and how we work, that we emit carbon dioxide, and the plastic we use will all be imputed into the ocean. Thus, I realized that we are all connected. Our city matters, and our action matters. However, like many of us, we wondered, what does this have to do with me? Isn't it the job of scientists, those people in the local rivers or like people in the oceans? However, because we are all connected, we are the unity. We can all start from right now, from your handbag. Using recycling bags and reusing plastic bags can you reduce the plastic uses, and just simply turn off the light in your classrooms will reduce the emission of carbon dioxide. This could help to reduce the pollutions that will be put into the ocean. Since we're all connected, there are possible ways to reduce the pollutions that cause ocean acidification. Thus, since we are all one and we are all connected to the ocean ecosystems, we could contribute to the recovery of ocean ecosystem. Thank you. And let's welcome the boy from grade 10 to present.